Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today we're going to look at this knife from SOG. This is the Instinct Mini. So the Instinct Mini is a neck knife. Yes, you can wear it in other places, not just around your neck. You can put it on your belt, you can stuff it in your boot, you can put it in a lot of places. The knife's kind of small. But I think most people will take advantage of the included sheath and little chain to wear it around their neck. Let's go ahead and talk about what a neck knife is. As you may have guessed, it's a knife you wear around your neck, but wait, there's more. It's not just that. It's the fact that it's going to be a fixed blade knife, and the knife is also going to be small. This one is actually 4.8 inches. And the whole point of a neck knife is for it to be super accessible, even more accessible than your primary knife, which you might just have on your hip. This one's supposed to be even more accessible than that. And the idea is that this knife will be used for the more, mundane, everyday tasks. Something like as simple as like opening a package, where pulling out your big Rambo knife might just look a little try-hard. It might be kind of ridiculous. So that would be a good thing for your neck knife. Also, a neck knife, don't forget, can also be used as a backup knife should the situation call for that. So let's go ahead and take a look around the package. Alright, so here we go. We have the Design by SOG, little emblem there. Okay, rules explained. Kind of talked about that earlier about where you can wear it. There's talking about the sheath, 360 adjustable, and then, okay, lifetime warranty. I'm assuming that means this is part of the tactical line. They might have other lines at SOG, product lines that is. There it is. Knife. Of course, we'll look at that later in depth. Let's continue looking at around the box here. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of pan this by the camera, and you can go ahead and read the little highlights that they have here. We got a cool spec list right on the back of the box, or package in this case. I really like that. Alright. Okay. Alright, so overall impressions of the packaging, I think they did a great job. First of all, let's talk about being able to see the item. I mean, we can see the whole knife. And then you flip it around and you can see the other items that are included. So there's no mystery as to what you're getting. Hey, you could see it before you bought it. That's always a plus. Now let's talk about the form factor of the packaging. Obviously we have a item that's meant to be put on a retail hanger there. And I think that's a good option, or a good choice with this. Keep in mind, this whole knife is supposed to be small. It's supposed to give you that everyday carry, always with you. So I think keeping the packaging small kind of keeps that whole vibe together. If this was sold in a bigger package, it might detract from that. Okay, and now let's talk about the colors they selected. It's almost entirely white and black, and I think that's great. It really does get to the straight to business. There really is no fancy designs. It's just, hey, what is this knife? What can it do? And by the way, on the back, it even gives you a spec list. Not every knife does that, so that's appreciated. So I like it, and let's go ahead now and actually do the unboxing here. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut off the top, just above the tip of the knife here. Open it up by separating the paper. Okay. So, back compartment. Okay, here we have the sheath. You can see the pocket clip. Here's the skeleton guy again. It looks like this is one of those. You can see it has the little circle, and then along the circle there are these little indents. So I'm going to guess this can turn and then lock. Turn and lock, turn and lock. So there you go. That's that 360. Of course, this goes all the way around. So there's that 360 positioning. Okay. And then on this side, this looks like a repeat of what's on the back. So perhaps you can bring this over to the front, maybe? Okay. Anyway, looking at the top of the sheath, there is a difference between the sides. You can see this has this raised part, as where this is a little lower lining. We'll see how maybe that goes with the contour of the knife, I would assume. Alright, going down the sides, we have, you can see these slots 1, 2, 3, and 4. So perhaps you could thread a belt through there. It would be kind of a skinny belt, but I assume that's a possibility. Or maybe you could just use some kind of like paracord or whatever. So I guess that would be another mounting option. And then here is the supplied. It's one of these little bead chain deals. So we can just open that by just doing that. There you are. It's open. And we're gonna get and close it by threading that in there, then pulling. And there you go. Okay, and then just a quick look down the sheath. There you are. And it does have these little scallops all the way around the edges here. So, okay. Now let's go look at the knife itself. There's your blade, the point. Okay, cut it out. There we are. You can see it. There it is. Other side. So it's obvious a full tang. And then we have these on either side for some added grip. Just give you an idea what the kind of material I'll run my fingernail on. The, I guess what do you call it? These panels on the side. Okay. Now for grip. Of course, we have these ridges on the back. Allows you to place your thumb there and get some good grip. These ridges are really grippy, so that's a plus. So there you are. Okay, now to go test it out. I was so anxious I forgot to show you it going into the sheath. So we'll do that now. So this part I spoke about earlier, you can see how that matches up with that pattern on the knife's handle. So insert this in here. And if you, just to confirm, you can see how the sheath matches the shape of the blade, so you know what weighs right even there. There we are. Alright, well, it's staying in there. And to pull it out, place your thumb here, push out. And there you are. Okay, well, definitely holds itself in there. Alright, just wanted to show you, you can in fact remove the belt or pocket clip here. So how to do it is, of course this will be on the sheath, and you go ahead and get an Allen wrench and you stick it in. You can see there's a hole here on this outer layer, and then it goes straight through to where the bolt is, which you will use your Allen wrench, loosen it, and then you can take it off. And yes, you can put that clip on either side. So, yep. Alright, so let's go ahead and test the sharpness straight out of the box. I have not sharpened this knife. This is about half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, like you get out of your printer. In fact, this is printer paper. It is a single sheet. Okay. First, we'll just try the shaving. I'm not really expecting this to be able to do that, but we'll see. Give it a shot. Okay, so you see there, it did dig in, but it's not sharp enough, and it'll tear prior to actually shaving off. So that's kind of what I expected. So the next thing what we'll do is I will make a hole first, and then go ahead and cut. That I think will be a chance of being more successful. So stabbing in. Okay, there you are. Now pulling through. There you have it. And I'll zoom in on the. So there you see it. Overall, not too bad. You can see there's a couple little points right there. But overall, I'd say it's pretty clean. But keep in mind, it did need the initial stab in before it was able to do this. And here's a close-up of that, trying to shave cut it, which, yeah, that's to our first. Okay. Alright, so let's give this another go at the paper cutting test. This time around, though, I have sharpened this a little, and I mean a little. The reason I didn't go too crazy on sharpening, I'm pretty sure if you spend a good amount of time with this, you could get this really sharp, maybe. But the reason I didn't want to go for that, or even try for that, is because I want to keep this, repeatable, and also, again, just kind of showing what the knife is on its own without having to input a whole bunch of effort on your own. So in order to do that, I said, again, did a short amount of sharpening, and I mean 2 minutes, basically using this. So this is one of those pocket sharpeners. You got coarse on one side and then fine on the other. And so, yeah. And as far as how much pressure I put down, basically the weight of the knife. I did put a tad bit of pressure down, but more or less just to keep it straight as I pulled through. So I'm not really pushing down and grinding, all right? So again, I'd say not more than 2 minutes using this with light pressure. And let's go ahead and see what that did for the sharpness, and we'll take it. All right, so again, we have this half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. We're going to do the shaving test first. Okay, it did actually bite in a little bit on its own, so maybe this will be doable. I'll try again over here. Okay, so yeah, a little of a tear there, but I am actually feeling it grip ever so bit. So if I were to hold this taut, I could easily shave it. Again, though, to make it challenging, it is loose, held loose. We'll see if we can do it one more time here. Maybe we'll get it. Okay, so it is still tearing. It can't shave a free-held piece of paper like you just saw. However, it is gripping in, so I can tell that it is better than it was before. Now let's do this again where I stab in and then cut out. So we'll see here. Okay, and alright, so that there, I'll zoom in on the cut. So there you have it. It felt better. It felt like a cut through way easier. And if you look at the cut, there's not that many jaggies. I mean, you can maybe see a tad bit of a couple like there and there. But, I mean, overall, this is very good. I'd say this is a notable improvement on this test as opposed to beginning. And there was some improvement on the other, the hanging shave. Alright, so I have the chance to carry this for a week now, and I'll give you my take on it. So, to begin with, I always knew this was going to be a handy little tool, and it proved to be quite so, even a little more than I anticipated. Now, so, let's talk about how come. Well, as you know, I always carry a pocket knife, but having a little knife like this that's always ready to pull out, very easy and convenient to grab, and we will cover where I personally carried this on my body. But anyway, it was easy to grab, pull it out, cut open the box, or whatever. Cutting through tape, opening those like items you get from the store that are like clamshell plastic, and you usually would cut your hands trying to open it by hand. So this, slip it open and get out the item. So it works really well for things such as that. So now let's talk. I said I'd tell you where I carry this. I carried it, and so what I did is you can tell I took off the little clip. And which you can take off. I took it off, and then instead of using the neck chain or the bead chain, I went ahead and put these little guys on. So these are just, I think these are meant to tie on like your name and address onto your luggage. Anyway, but anyway, I had some ones in black, and they kind of work well with my belt. So yes, I wore this on my belt. So of course I fed the belt through there, and then had the knife in there, right? So, and I kind of wore it in the front position, so a little off to the side, and yeah, worked well. Alright, so before we get to the conclusion, I want to go over a quick disclaimer, and that's regarding my use of this item, and that is to say I used it for about a week, and my use of it was for just light everyday use, like I said, cutting up a few packages and whatnot. and of course the little tests we did in the video. So I would say I was very gentle on this, especially by knife standards. I was really gentle. So I can't therefore speak to how well this will hold up, how long the edge will hold up. If you use and abuse and are taking this out camping and hitting it on rocks, I don't know how long it will last. But I can say it does feel pretty well made, so you have that going for you. All right, so now let's get to the conclusion. And I think a big part of it, if I haven't already mentioned, I shall say it now, is the pricing. So I've seen this retail for mid-20s up to about 30. Of course, there's going to be people selling it a little more or a little less. But if you can get it around that mid-$20 price or even maybe a little lower, then I think you're getting a lot of knife for your dollar. You also, keeping about how versatile the sheath is and all the many, many ways you can carry this, I think, I really can't see you doing much better for the money spent.